Measuring the openings for your windows and doors is a tricky procedure, and the quality of the installation and performance will be directly linked to the accuracy of those measurements. If it's a new build or an extension, your architect should have created opening measurements that can be fed through to your supplier. However, if you're replacing or upgrading windows, you'll need to measure the openings correctly.
Ordering windows from your plans can be a really good way to beat the lead times and not have to rely on forming the apertures first. If you've got confidence in your contractors to deliver exactly what's on the plans in a time frame that suits your schedule, then this is often a great way of ensuring there's no delays. If any sizes change from the plan during the build, which sometimes happens, then ensure you're communicating this to your glazing supplier as soon as you possibly can. It's best to measure up as soon as the apertures are formed and the lintels above are fully loaded. So usually when the full structure of the building is complete, including the roof structure and the roof covering. Anything that adds weight to the building can cause deflection in lintels as they settle, meaning the apertures can move. But if we're to take the example of a timber door and window in a timber frame aperture, then you would start by offering up a spirit level to check the top and the bottom and the sides of the aperture are all plumb and level. Next, from the external side, you would take dimensions across the height and the width of the aperture. Now, how many of these would depend on the overall size and shape of the aperture, but for an average size door, 3 dimensions across the width on the top, the middle and the bottom will suffice, and then the left, the middle and the right for the height dimensions. Whether there was already a door in place or not, you'll need to be sure to understand how the new door threshold interacts with the floor levels. Once you have all of your dimensions, you should take the smallest of the height and the width dimensions and then take off a tolerance to get your overall frame dimensions for manufacture. We recommend a 15mm overall tolerance, which should leave a 7.5mm gap around the perimeter of the frame once it's installed. This allows for packing around the frame, room for fixing straps, which is a standard method for fixing frames, and a gap for sealant on the outside and insulating foam inside. Once you've measured, it's also important to check internal finishes to ensure there's no clashing with the frame or the mechanisms. Also, check the depth of the new frame and how far within the aperture the frame will be set back. Sometimes, with replacement windows or doors, there will need to be preparation work done internally to be able to achieve the best detail, like cutting back plaster, window boards or tiles.